Let me go ahead with that.
Get to start following God.
That's right.
I know it's something that you probably never heard in your life, but it's something that you must learn to do. You have to follow God, man. And Christ came to teach you in the flesh how to follow God.
Right.
That was what Christ's whole life was. He went from city to city, just like we do, teaching how to follow God in the right way, because there was people back then that taught lies too. Right. There was people back then that taught false doctrines as well.
That's right.
It takes a man and a woman to make a child. So if a man is having sex with a man, guess what's not happening? You're not procreating. If a woman has sex with a woman, you're not procreating.
Right.
So guess what? That means our numbers are gonna go down.
Right.
Population control.
Talking about real love. Someone who can put his life down on the line so you can live, man. Keep going.
Verse 21. I do not frustrate the grace of God.
I do not what?
I do not frustrate the grace of God.
I do not what?
I do not frustrate the grace of God.
We don't frustrate the grace of God, man. We don't tarry. We don't wait. We are aggressive, man. And on our aggression, we are going to serve God until the day we die, because we got to stay ready. And if we stay ready, we're going to get the kingdom of heaven, man. We're going to get the kingdom of heaven. There's no waiting when you come and serve God. Don't be patient to come and serve God. And in your grace, don't frustrate it.
The nations who oppressed you, who stole your land, who took your identity, who gave you bywords, you understand? If you join them, you're going to be destroyed with them. But if you turn to the Most High and keep His laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to live in that terrible day when Christ returns.
What did the Most High say? Read.
I will bring plagues.
He said I might bring.
I will bring.
I could bring.
I will bring.
I will bring. Read.
Plagues upon the world.
I'm going to bring what?
Plagues.
What?
Plagues.
What?
Plagues.
The Most High is going to bring plagues. And one of those plagues is known as the coronavirus, man. And you're afraid, like Donald Trump said, of the invisible enemy. Listen, there's going to be more plagues. The coronavirus ain't nothing compared to what the Most High got in store for the unfaithful and the wicked and the evil of this earth, man.
That's right.
12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him, which means destruction to him who built a town on blood. How in the hell you think you can build something on blood and everything is going to be all right? You know, in the world they got something that's called karma. Well, in the Bible it's called you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. And what you see right now is a white man reaping what he has sown in this earth, man. That's what he has sown. Bloodshed.
You were sadly mistaken, man.
Right.
This is the death of America. That's what this place is. The fall of Babylon. We have a song in our organization we like to sing. It goes something like this, right? Babylon is falling. So rise no more. Rise no more.
You in the crib, but the boy outside, I get it on outside. From the dusk to the dawn outside. So in the morning outside, I'm catching wreck when they drawing outside. Cause it's a war outside, my sword drawn outside. This Excalibur, your bladder be all outside. Cause it's a war outside, I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the boy outside, I get it on outside. And that's a definite, cannonball wrecking shit. Excellent, rhyme Barack and bombing like the president. I remain strong, King Kong with the prevalence. I show you exactly what we do, that's how I represent. Hardcore, heaven sent, chain on, hella bent. Throwing all black when they spot me like the leopard print. Oh, I got the braids in, shades on, made men. Cause we put in work to stop the earth until it caved in. Walk strong, talk heavy, hold my own. You rock solid when we bout to leave the sword, the stone. Nigga, we warriors, hardcore, tracking the pride. speak, nigga, general eyes. And we talking super heavy, nigga, that's the surprise. With all scripture, street talk, word to Captain the God, nigga, we blazing, ripping the mic with all facts, doing the knowledge to the max, till we cracking the pavement. UPK, y'all the one West Harlem, nigga. We spring forward and they falling like it's all.
Kenji, I can shake your hand. I can respect you. You understand? I can respect you. You understand?
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put billions of my houses. Yes, you said so. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I'm back gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mass shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through it. And the damn by king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Hey, shalom. If you can hear me. Shalom, Israel. Testing. Trying a new mic. If you in here, give me a 1. If you can hear me. If my audio is coming through good. Is it up? Yeah, we good. Let's clap it up. Once again, this is the Law and History class. I'm Precinct Officer Tawal Gabar. We're going to review what we went over. I'm going to start a little bit. I think we was in Deuteronomy 28. I'm gonna start. We left off at like verse 14 or 15, right? And I'm going to start from there. And what we were doing was going through the curses. That's what we was doing, breaking down the curses, right? So we're gonna get into that. We got a young man in the class, a new brother to the class. You got any questions in particular? Anything?
Well, nah, I just
Just came
came to learn.
to learn.
Yeah, I wanna because it's been so like troubling to get here with him. I've been running into a lot of problems and stuff, but I'm glad to be here. I'm really happy to be here.
Most High in Christ, man. For sure. Most High in Christ. Yeah, Most High in Christ. Brother said it's been hard getting here, been trying to get here with the other young man. He been trying to make it to class and he finally made it to class. So, when you try to do the right thing, Satan is always there, to take away the truth. Satan is always there to put an obstacle in your way and make you think like, maybe another time. Maybe another time, brother, I come through, I check it out, you know what I mean? And even with us in the truth, there's things that we go through on a daily basis. It's a constant battle to do the right thing. You know what I mean? It's never like you won in life. It's never like you won. Every day is a battle to do the right thing every day because we live in these bodies that we live in that want to get high, have sex, party, and have pleasure and do what we want to do all the time. When the Lord say, nah, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You can have a good time, but you got to do it. You got to do it my way. You got to do it keeping the law, statute, commandments. And if you do it within that, you'll be straight. You know what I'm saying? You can prosper. You can realize your dreams or whatever you want to do, whatever the case may be. If you put the Most High first, anything you want will be added to you. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Let me look at the chat real quick. Shalom. Shalom, Devon. Shalom, Sister Barathanawa. So let me get back where I was at. So on the recap, we were going through the curses. See, because we always bring out, like if you ever get hip to Israelites, what you'll hear Israelites bring out a lot is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, which shows you that slavery is in the Bible, that the transatlantic slave trade was not just something and it's not recorded in the Bible. It was actually something that the Lord ordained to happen if we disobeyed him, right? So when you look at the transatlantic slave trade, nothing like that has ever happened in the history of the world, right? Transatlantic, literally taking a group of people and shipping them to another side of the earth. That's never really happened. You know what I mean? There's always been slavery, but not on the level that would happen to God's chosen people. And so a lot of times when you hear, the first thing you hear when you hear Israelites, or you, like the brother said, you said you see the purple cats all the time, right? The first thing you hear when you see a lot of Israelite groups is they're talking about Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Well, they got that from the ISUPK. Like everybody you ever heard talking about black people, Hispanic people are the real Jews, they got that from the ISUPK and they just ran with it and they start their own little group. And yeah, definitely profited off the truth, right? But there has always been one place where this truth came from in 1969, and for a long time, black people didn't know. They had forgot who they were. In fact, the Lord said that we would forget. If you could give me Jeremiah 17:4, He said we would discontinue from knowing who we are, and then in the 1960s, this truth came back into the earth because brothers started to remember this truth actually comes from slaves, and this truth passed on from one to another, and then finally the Lord allowed for the revelations to certain brothers to see through prophecy and doing extensive research, like historical research on who we actually were, like black people, Native American people, Hispanic people. When I say Hispanic, I mean Puerto Rican, Cuban, Mexican, El Salvadorian, Guatemalan. These people, well, the brothers brought this out in the 60s before any actual real archaeology ever came out to actually substantiate what brothers were saying. Because, people, they look for a sign. They don't want you to just say we God's chosen people. They want to see some evidence. They want to see something. Even though we can look at us and say we're a special people, we're a peculiar people, that's still not enough for some people. So before all of the archaeology came out, brothers had already had the revelation of who these people were on this side of the earth. But if you could give me that real quick.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
So the Lord said we would discontinue from our heritage in which he gave us. Like, what does it mean to discontinue? You go ahead. Well, go ahead. When you say something, just raise your hand. No, go ahead. Right. Yeah, just cancel out. What was you gonna say? What was you gonna say, Sawat? Just to stop. Like you want a pair of shoes that you've been trying to get. You want a phone, and they say, "Oh, it's been discontinued. We no longer it's no longer. We don't have that in stock no more." So we were discontinued from our heritage. The Lord allowed for a period of time for us when we got kicked out of Jerusalem. We was living in the interiors of Africa. Some of the Jews were living in Spain. They got kicked out of Spain, and we were living in Africa for thousands of years, being hated by native Africans, right, and trying to take on their ways also, and forgot who we were. We still had some. In fact, I'm gonna bring that out. I found African tribes, particular African, well, not really African, but particular groups of black people that were still keeping the commandments, that still to this day have ancient Hebrew in their language, that were shipped over here to Louisiana, specific tribes that were sent to Louisiana, Virginia, and just shows you that everybody wasn't the same, right? It just shows you that all black people ain't the same. Just because we black doesn't mean we're the same people. Just because we're dark-skinned races don't mean that we're all the same. But the point is that the Lord allowed for us to be discontinued for our heritage and to forget. Well, thanks to the Most High in Christ that we brothers got that knowledge in the 1960s. And today, brothers like me, brothers like y'all, brothers like Sawab can hear this truth and actually apply this truth and actually see the world differently. Because as a black man, the world, living in this world is like living in a concrete jungle. It's like you gotta, make the right decision all the time, and you have so many pressures from outside forces, whether it be family, friends, social media, society, and even the Christian church. And to have this truth is like having a sword, like it's like having a armor. It's like having the whole armor on, and I don't want to sound Christian, but it's like having a certain level of protection and wisdom not to fall into the same traps that we see so many young brothers, so many of our people fall into in America and in South Central America. So yeah, so one of the curses is us coming over here, right? That was a prophecy that was written 4,000 years ago. So that's where we're at right now. We're in Deuteronomy 28, and we'll start at 14. All right, let me get there with you. Go ahead. Oh, when you get there.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 14.
So just to recap, when we in the beginning from verse 1 to 14, is it 14? From verse 1 to 14, these is all the blessings and all the good things that would happen to us that if we kept the law, statute, and commandments as a people. You know what I'm saying? If we would have did what the Lord said, we would have got all of these blessings. And some of the blessings was us being blessed in our businesses, us being blessed. What are some of them? What are some of them, young man? Why am I saying it? You was here in class. What are some of the blessings?
Body,
having children, prosper in the field, meaning you'll prosper in the city and in the field, meaning your business, your ranch, your farm, your cattle will have you have a lot of cattle. And back then having, like, if people don't know, the way that our people live was through agriculture. So if you had a lot of cattle, flocks, and sheep and goats and all of that, you were considered a rich person because that was money. It wasn't literally money, but it symbolized you being wealthy. It's just like today when somebody has a lot of cars or they have a lot of properties with cars. It's no different, you know what I mean? But you'll look at that and say that's a wealthy person. The same way, even though it's not money, cars ain't money. We got dollar bills or money. The same way they had they had shekels, and they had a form of money. But if you saw a brother with flocks and he had sheep and he had land and his kids was healthy and he was just having all kind of kids, he was blessed. You would say that brother is, he's a prosperous man. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of things that the Lord said. If you follow this, you won't have to worry. You won't have to worry about where you're gonna get no food. You won't have to worry about none of that. But our forefathers didn't follow that. So we're going to start right here with the curses. If we didn't follow, what would happen? And then we're going to look at what we're going through today as a group of people. As Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people, do these curses fit us? Because there's a people on the earth that say that they are God's chosen people. And these curses don't seem to fit them, but they do fit a certain group of people that is in the world today. All right, so let's go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them.
So after he's telling you all the good things that would happen, he just remind you, don't observe and do everything I just said. Don't go to the right or the left. Stay on the straight and narrow path. There's many paths that you can go. I think the scripture I'm paraphrasing, it says, wide, broad is the path to destruction, but to life it's a straight and narrow path. Like when you just look at the world right now, there's so many things that's thrown at people, especially young people, that they don't know what path to take, right? It's so many paths you can take in life right now in this world in 2023, but there's only one way to the Most High. It's only one way to keep the law, statute, and commandments. That's really straight and narrow. It's straight and narrow. It's hard to see. It's hard to find because everything says do this, live like this, enjoy this. Oh, it's just Christmas. It's just your birthday. Man, go ahead and live it up. Go celebrate. It's so many things in our mind that we've seen our parents do, our grandparents do, that we think it's harmless. And then so the way we live in America has blurred the straight and narrow path. It's hard to find it. You know what I mean? Because there's so many paths in this this big forest, right? It's so many paths you could go. You know what I mean? And so the Lord said, don't go to the left or to the right. Do what I told you to do. It's like you tell your children to do what I told you to do. No, you're supposed to be going to the store. I didn't tell you to go over here and stop at Tommy's house. You're supposed to go straight there and come back. You don't do that. Now I got to punish you. So where we at? Verse 15?
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes.
So hearken means if you will not listen unto the voice of the Lord thy God, go ahead.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now, if you didn't do this, these are the curses that will overtake us. Go ahead.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So now your businesses are not prospering. They're failing. Now your farms is failing. You're not getting no rain. No rain means there's nothing growing. There's no food for your cattle and for your farm animals. So now you're cursing in everything that you're trying to do. In the 1960s, we integrated with America and our businesses died because now Black people were patronizing, white businesses. So Black people had an infrastructure. They had stores. The most famous one is Black Wall Street. And I said it last a week. Black Wall Street was built again. Like a lot of people don't know that they rebuilt Greenwood, right? But it died off because now integrating Black people wasn't going to Black people's businesses. They was going to white people businesses. So ain't no money coming in. Before, Black people were just spending money with each other. You got a shoe shop. You sell apples. You make carpets. You got a bus line. You got this, and we're just spending money, and it's just circulating within our community. Now it went out, but that was a curse. That's direct curse that we went through. That we see now. You see black people saying support black businesses. Now we cry about us not supporting each other. Meanwhile, we decided to integrate. We decided to want. We thought what was on the other side of the grass, the grass was greener on the other side, and now we're talking about support each other when we already had that. If we would have followed the law, statutes, and commandments, it was not easy. And you notice this is the cold part. Black people, this how you know the Bible is real. Where the Lord says that He wanted us separate from everybody, meaning we can't separate in America. When our forefathers got out of slavery, they couldn't go nowhere. They couldn't all hop on a boat and go back to where they thought they came from, but they wanted to be separate. I don't know if anybody knows the history on 40 Acres and a Mule, but in 40 Acres and a Mule, it was about 20 pastors that met with United States generals to make a deal on what they was going to do. And they said they were going to give them 40 acres. This is like in the Carolinas, on the coastland. They was going to give them 40 acres, in a mule. But the pastor, the head pastor that was he was the leader of all of them. He said they didn't want to have to live by white people. They said we'll take it, but we don't want to be around white people. So give us some land where we're away from y'all, and we'll be self-sufficient within years. Now, flashback to the early 1900s where black people, they called it the Roaring 20s, when black people in Harlem was doing good. They used to call Harlem Jerusalem. Black people in Harlem was doing good. You had the people in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You had a town called Slocum, Texas. You had a place called Weeksville in New York. Black people was doing good when they was separated. When they looked at white people like, white people don't like us. We just gonna do our thing. They ain't messing with us. They didn't know the Bible though. They didn't know that the Lord wanted us to be separate. But even though they didn't know that, they still was prospering when they was separate. Now, when Martin Luther King brought us together to integrate, then everything went downhill. Everything went downhill. Another thing is when they do the statistics and they go back and they look and they pull the census records, black people or black children, or should I say 5 out of 6 black children grew up in 2-parent homes from slavery until the 1940s. So all the talk about, slavery messed our family up. No, our families was doing good. What really destroyed our family was integration in the welfare state. Because once the welfare state came, now you depended on them, and now you're incentivized to not go to work. You know what I'm saying? And so from the 60s on, we went downhill, right? But from slavery on up, we was in 2-parent homes. We was doing good. We had black businesses. We had all that going for us, right? And that just shows you that what the Lord said is what He wants. And even then, even though we didn't even know it, we was Christians. We was Christians, but we were separate from white people, and we prospered in our separation. You know what I'm saying? I just had to bring that out. But go ahead.
Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Now you won't have enough to eat. You won't have any food, any bread to eat. Now you struggling, right? Now you on the streets. Now you begging. Now you robbing. Now you stealing. And that even comes on to today, in today's times. Brothers is out in the streets like, I got to get mine. I got to do what I got to do. I got to hit this lick. You know what I'm saying? Especially when the holidays come around, black people be pressed. They be doing scams. They be robbing. They be doing home invasions, because they feel like they got to do this, not even knowing the Lord is against holidays. We ain't even supposed to be celebrating holidays. But the point is that we don't have enough to eat. So now we got to go to another people to say, can you help me? We got to go to a food bank, say, can you help me? You know what I'm saying? That is our life in America. We got to do something to supplement the money that we do get, because it's not enough. You know what I mean? For the whole month. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
So now everything is cursed. Your children. You're not having children like you used to have children. Now your flocks is not having babies. You know what I mean? Your cattle and all that. This is your money. This is how you flip your bread. You know what I mean? This is what sustains you. Now you're not, your children sustain you. People look at people bad, look down on people now if they have a lot of children. Back in them days, our people had a lot of children. You go back to the 1900s, you go to slavery, our people had big families. And a big family means that you got a lot of help. You got a lot of brothers and sisters. Somebody mess with you, you got a lot of help. If you're a father and you're trying to do something for your family and run a business, you got a lot of help. You know what I mean? A big family is that's something that's a blessing. You know what I mean? What the Bible say that, I can't even say the scripture where it's where one or more is gathered. Now that's the wrong one. It's the one where two are strong. It's in Ecclesiastes. Two are strong, but a threefold can't be broken. Meaning, like two people are strong. Now add one more person to those two people. They're even stronger. Now add 10 of them. You know what I mean? They're even stronger because everybody can help each other. One person fall, another person can pick them up, and that's how it will be with a big family. But now we don't have big families. Now we're under this curse and this frame of thought that I ain't trying to have a lot of kids. Now you got it where women don't even say, I ain't trying to. I gotta do my career. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna do the career, and then I'll have kids. But then it's too late when they're ready to have kids. So now they damn near going 40, damn near going 50. Looking at all their friends that had kids when they was in their 20s and 30s. Like, damn, I wish I would have had a kid. But the society got our people even thinking that way. Like, damn, you see how many kids you got? You got 5 kids. You got 6 kids. It's like a shame to have a big family. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but that's a curse, man. That's a curse because the Lord intended for us to be fruitful and multiply, right? So it's a curse to even think that way. Like, all I need is 1 kid. All I need is 2 kids. Even people with 1 kid, you hear them say, yeah, I'm trying to, have another kid. They want a brother or a sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, man, your children can be a help to you. Your children can be a real help in a defense in a time of trouble, right? What you have found the scripture? Oh, go ahead and read it.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, and verse 12. And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was just saying. Like, when it comes to no. Read it. Go up 1, and then read it. I don't know. What's the verse again? Is it 12? 4 and 12. 4 and 11.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone?
So if 2 people lie together, they have heat, right? They can warm each other up. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly
So
broken.
if somebody come up against you to fight you or whatever, 2 people is better than 1. And then a threefold cord, kind of like a rope. It's giving a metaphor of a rope, but it's talking about people. It can't be what? It can't be broken. It can't be broken. You know what I mean? Just means you're stronger in numbers. You're stronger. Like, we have this mindset that we're individuals in the Black community. Like, we've grown to be like individuals. Like, what's mine is mine. Like, I ain't trying to do nothing with nobody else. I'm trying to be on my, you know what I'm saying, on my own, on my solo bolo. I ain't really, you know what I mean? But not knowing that you're stronger with your brothers. You're stronger with your family. You're stronger with people that are down for you. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this truth, we strong as hell. We're strong as hell. We walk into a place and we just strike fear in everybody. But we're the most humble brothers ever. You know what I'm saying? If you just, Like, but it's just this thing when they see the fringes, they see, they see the leather, they see the boots, and they're like, damn, what is y'all what's going on? Like, y'all, what's about to happen? Like, nah, brother, we come in to have a drink. We come in to have a good time like you. You know what I mean? But it's a spirit that is on the brothers, and that's through the Most High in Christ in the ISUPK. It's a spirit on us. But the point is, well, I don't want to lose my thought. The point is that you're stronger, right, with more. So there's nothing wrong with having a lot of children. Children would be a defense and a help in a time of trouble. Children can get your business up and running. And it also can be something you can pass on to your children, and they can pass on to their children, right? Where we at? Verse 19, go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Yeah, so you just be cursing everything. You'll fail at everything. You'll be a failure at everything. You'll be a loser, a sore loser at everything. Keep reading.
Verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
So the Lord will send cursing, vexation, and rebuke. So we felt like we will feel the anger of the Most High, and we will be confused that why things ain't working. Like why is it always us? You ever see black people how when something happens, like say a brother gets shot or a black person, they experience racism for the first time, they just be so confused and lost, like they don't know why is this happening to them, like. And the thing, and they be like, why do they hate us so much? Why do they treat us? Why is it always us? Why that don't happen to other people? And they just be confused, right? And it's because the Lord, He's angry with us. He's angry how we turned our back on Him, right? And so He sends that vexation, that confusion, that just, if it ain't one thing, it's another, man. Damn, man, they always pressing me. I can't even roll down the street without getting pulled over. I can't do this. Like, oh, my girl, man, she always arguing and nagging. Like, we're just confused, right? The Lord sent that vexation and that confusion of spirit for the the inequity and the sins that we sin against Him. He said, listen, you're gonna feel my wrath. That's the anger of the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until we have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Right. So slow down. So the Lord will send diseases, the pestilences. He will send he said the pestilence will cleave unto thee until they have consumed thee. So you will get all the diseases. You know what I'm saying? All of those diseases will attack us as a people. They tell you that we the number one leaders in everything bad in America. Black people are number one in what? High blood pressure, heart disease. They said high blood pressure. They said they can't figure it out, but black people are number one in high blood pressure. They made a link between the people that came on the transatlantic slave trade and high blood pressure. They said they don't know why, but it's a link between the people that came on. Like they said, they had something to do with the people in the transatlantic slave trade because it ain't nobody else. So that these are some of the diseases that cleave unto us. You know what I'm saying? These are some of the things. This ain't by no accident. They got another thing. What is called sickle cell? Something that's just a don't it only affect black people? They got diseases that only affect black people. Like the disease, you think the disease is racist because it's choosing to only affect black people. The disease ain't racist. It was sent by the Most High. A pestilence is something like what I just explained, or COVID-19. A lot of Black and Hispanic people die from COVID-19. Matter of fact, when it first started, we were the number one people dying from it, which was weird to me, but we're reading it right here. The Lord will send these things. COVID-19 was sent from the Lord to put fear in the white man's heart, but we were also affected by it disproportionately, right? Where are we at? You on 21, 22, 22? All right.
Verse 22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with a sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
That was 21, right? 22, Salaki. So I just really read that. I just went over all of that. So these are all of the extreme things that we go through in the black community, all the health issues that we have, the mildew, talking about, that will deal with your crops. Also, you find a lot of mildew in our dwellings by slumlords. You understand? You find rats and roaches, and that is our life in America, right? And all of these things will cleave unto us until we perish, right? That goes hand in hand with our life. Like a lot of these things, you can't deny that these things happen in the black community. This is our life in the hood. This is our life, right? Where we at? 23.
Verse 23. In thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
So what that means is that there will be no rain. Give me the precept where it talks about opening up the windows of heaven and there be a blessing. I think it might be Malachi. It's the one you have robbed me in tithes and offerings. It might be Malachi 1 and 3 or something like that. 3 and 3. Yeah, you have robbed me of tithes and offerings. The brother said, Kasharwan says, it's like that with Hispanics too. We always wonder why things happen to us, and it's in plain sight to see that the Lord is punishing us. Right. We be so confused. Like, we be so confused. Like, why is this only happening to me? You know what I'm saying? And feeling self-pity. Listen, don't ever feel self-pity for yourself. Don't ever get in the mindset of, feeling sorry for yourself. Like, why it always happen to me? Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. That is weak. Don't be in that mindset. Don't be in that mindset. That's a Christian mindset to be in. You know what I'm saying? Instead, look at it as though take it with gladness. Matter of fact, what's that scripture? Let me see. Hold on. One second. You find it yet? After that, give me Ecclesiastes 2 and 4. Ecclesiasticus 2 and 4. Go ahead, read it.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 8. Will a man rob God? Yea, ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have ye robbed me? In tithes and in offerings.
This is the Lord talking. He's talking about the leaders of Israel that will rob him of his tithes and offering. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Verse 10. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts. If I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it.
So he would open up the windows of heaven, and the Christians look at this like, the windows of heaven, and it's just going to be some damn white doves coming and some rainbows with a bucket of a leprechaun and a bucket of gold at the end of it. What this is talking about is the rain, because that's where the tithes was coming from. The tithes was coming from people's livestock in their crops. The 10% of that. Now, if you didn't have that, not today. If you don't have that, that don't mean don't bring no 10%. Don't pay your tithe. Don't act like you about to bring 10% of canned vegetables. We need that bread. We need that fedia. We need that bread in order to build the Lord's school and to help brothers and sisters. Don't be worried about where the tithes go to. It damn sure ain't going to buy us a Rolls Royce. That's what it ain't doing. We ain't driving a Bentley and a Benz like your Christian pastor. You know what I'm saying? We not buying Gucci and flying around and taking trips like your Christian pastor. That's what's not happening, right? But that's what it means. Now go back to Deuteronomy. Hold that. Get Ecclesiasticus 2:4. I wanted to So I was talking about, don't be, man. Why that always happen to me, man? Shit, man. Man, don't nothing never go right. And start to feel low and self-pity. That's a demon. And that's how you start to get depressed. You don't want to be in that state, man. You want to be strong, you know what I'm saying? And you want to take the good with the bad. Cause you ain't gonna be talking about why me when you win the lottery. You ain't gonna talk about why me when you get your income tax. You're not talking about why me. You're not talking about why me. You know what I'm saying? When you come into some money, somebody, you get a settlement or something. You ain't talking about why me then. The good times. Go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, and verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
It says, whatever so is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Meaning, whatever it is. I said the good or bad, take cheerfully. Go. I know it's more.
And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Is there anything else? What about the next verse? Give me the next verse.
Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire.
Because for gold is tried in the fire.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
An acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Gold is, you purify gold by burning it and melting it. And that's how it gets purified. And that's how the Lord tries you. It says, take it cheerfully. When you're going through something, you're going through something, man, don't be down. Don't be like, punching the wall and ready to contemplate whether you want to murder yourself, you want to unlive yourself. Don't do that. Take it cheerfully because the Lord is testing you. He's trying you. And it said what? It said acceptable men. The Lord said acceptable men. Every man ain't acceptable. But listen, I don't know whether you acceptable or not, but no one knows but the Lord, because what you go through is not what I might go through, and what I go through is not what you may go through, right? Go acceptable man. I want to remember what the last part of that precept was.
For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
In the furnace of adversity. You're gonna go through some adversity. Life ain't all about ups and ups and ups. Life is about ups and downs, ups and downs. Sometimes you up, sometimes you down bad. That's just how it be sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you really, really up, and then sometimes it's like, damn, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Like, damn, like, what is going on? And you're confused. And we just read right here, the Lord is trying. He's trying you. He's burning you in the furnace right now. You're at a low estate, meaning you was up here, now you down here. You in the dust. You low with the dust. And the Lord is trying you. You was gonna say something, Swap?
Not you personally, but I say there's times in my life where I've said that numerous times, like, why me? Why me? Some of them might told me to start flipping that, saying, why not me?
Right.
Because like when you saying why me, that's like a prideful statement or like arrogance. Like,
yeah.
Like saying like, oh, I'm good. I'm too good for this to happen to me. No, why not me? Because when I look at my life and the things I've done in my past, you know what I'm saying? Like why not? Who am I too great for these things to happen to me? Why not?
Exactly. So when you look at the men in the Bible, for all intents and purposes, the men in the Bible was ex-cons. Everybody went to prison. All the prophets was on the run. Jesus Christ had a warrant out for his arrest. King David was on the run like a fugitive. You know what I'm saying? So these is niggas, man. These is black men. These ain't white people. They lived a life just like we live today. But these men, the Lord was with these men. You know what I mean? So when you look at the lives of these brothers, you're like, damn, you could say, why me? But like the brother said, Swap said, why not me? You know what I'm saying? Why not me? Why not? Why not I go through some things to show that I am who I am, that I am, so what? Why don't I go through some things to show that I am the Wagabar? I am I do live up to the name that was given to me. I am that brother, you know what I'm saying, in the Lord. You know what I mean? These brothers in the Bible, they had lows. King David killed a brother so he can get his wife. You know what I'm saying? Brothers did things they was not supposed to do. The Lord had mercy on them, but I'm just saying you have ups and you have downs. So don't ever feel pity for yourself and look at yourself and, man, why my life like this and all of that. Nah, bump that, man. Bump that. You being tried, you being put through the fire right now is just a test, and you got to focus on getting up out of that thing without falling into temptation or feeling sorry for yourself and falling into depression, right? So let's get back to give me that where were we at? We were on what, 24? All right. Cause so what I was saying, when we went to that one, open up the windows. The windows is what he's talking about when he talk about, let me see, 23 was, and thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, meaning he's gonna put brass. No rain is falling, and the earth that is under under thee shall be iron, meaning nothing is gonna grow. So what does that mean? Famine. It's gonna be hard to get something to eat. You know what I mean? And this is a curse that he was gonna send upon the people. Go ahead.
Verse 24. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed.
That's just a famine. Keep reading.
Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them.
Now, earlier in the blessings, it said that when your enemies would come towards you, they would come in one way and they would flee 7 ways, meaning you would defeat your enemies. Now you the one getting defeated. Now you run up on somebody, and now all of y'all running all kind of ways like roaches, right? Y'all getting scattered. Y'all ain't winning no battles or nothing. And that happened a lot of times in Israel, where if you were sinning, like when the Lord was with us, even if they had a bigger army, we would win. But when the Lord wasn't with us, and we thought he was with us, and we go up against somebody and we lose, and the priests be scratching their head like, what happened? The priests be ripping their garments like, damn, how did we lose? Because the Lord is with us, but then they find out somebody is sinning within the congregation, and that's why the Lord wasn't with them. You know what I mean? So they would get scattered and get ran off. Go ahead.
It shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Verse 26. And thy carcass.
Wait. That's a heavy point right there. He says, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth, meaning we as a people were scattered into all the different kingdoms. We were everywhere. We were taken into captivity into Babylon, which is Mesopotamia. We went into captivity in Persia. We went into captivity into Greece. We went into captivity into Rome, and we went into captivity, which is today America. So in North America, South America, and Europe. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth.
So our dead bodies would lay around, and no one would scare the birds away. The birds would just feed on our dead bodies. Go ahead.
And no man shall fray them away.
Right.
Verse 27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch whereof thou canst not be healed.
So he talking about you would have all type of, scabs and oozing sores and what they call those things, boils and, skin diseases and sores. And, you just be stuck with all of those things as a people. Go ahead. It said the itch that can't be healed. So we're talking about, venereal diseases, STDs. We're talking about all type of diseases that they had in ancient Egypt. Now we would have them, right? Go ahead.
Verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday as blind gropeth in darkness.
So once again, we will be like a blind person. Now we all have eyes, but as a nation of people, we will be like a blind man that is in the daytime. A blind man, he got a stick and he's like trying to find his way. But the Lord is saying that's how we would be. We would be like a blind man in the middle of the day, trying to find our way, lost. You get what I'm saying? We all can see, but we really, as a nation, we're lost because the Lord ain't with us. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Mm-hmm.
30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
So you would be with a woman, and another man would lay with her. Another man would rape her, right? You would build a house, but you wouldn't live in the house. We built America, but we don't reap the benefits of America. We built this house, but we don't live in the house. We live outside the house. You'll build a vineyard. A vineyard is a farm, a grape vineyard, right? But you don't get to eat of it. Hispanic people are working in the fields right now. They be working overnight. What's that, Kern County? They be overnight in those fields, picking, they be pulling, what you call those things? Onions, garlic. You got to see the videos. They be like this, brother. Put in the bag. Put in the bag. 12 hours. They pick the grapes, the lettuce, the strawberries, the cucumber, everything, right? But they don't get to reap the benefits of that. You know what I'm saying? We picked the cotton. We didn't get to reap the benefits of cotton. You know what I'm saying? But America did. America reaped the benefits of cotton. They became a world superpower because of it. They got rich, super rich, got a super military, and became the world superpower because of the free labor that they were built on. The free labor capital. Imagine if you could have somebody work for you for free. They build you a house for you ain't got to pay them no wages. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be sweet? Like, damn, that's what that we didn't get to reap none of the benefits of the things that we did. This was a curse. Go ahead.
Verse 31. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and thou shalt not eat thereof.
Your ox will be slain before your eyes, and you done raise the ox. You done raise it from a little baby, fed it all that, and they kill it in front of you, cook it, ribs, beef, whatever. You don't get to eat none of it. They cut out the guts and give you the guts. That's where a lot of soul food comes from. Give you the stuff that don't nobody want. Where the hell you think chitlins come from? Why are black people cooking pig intestines? Why black people cooking and think that's like a delicacy in the holidays in a black household, right? That's because that's the only thing you could get. That's the only thing that they would give you. But the point is that you would literally raise these animals and not even get to taste them. Yeah, kill it right in front of you, eat it, cook it, barbecue it, and you just smelling it, mouth watering. You eating some sweet potatoes, you know what I'm saying, and some chitlins. You ain't gonna get none of that beef though, none of that chicken though. You know what I'm saying? Not even the pig meat. You get the pig intestines and guts and the feet, pig feet. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that we should because pig is an unclean animal, but I'm just saying to make the point. Go ahead.
Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face.
Mm-hmm.
It shall not be restored to thee.
Now, your donkey be violently stolen. Your donkey be taken from you, not restored. Like somebody rob you, steal something from you, you don't get it back. Right? Go ahead.
Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
Mm.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
So your sons and daughters will be, taken away from you and given to another people. And that's what happened when we came over here on slave ships. Our sons and daughters were given to another people. Families were ripped apart. They did this every new year. Every new year, they had an auction. Every new year, you didn't know what was going to happen because your father could get sold away, your sister could get sold away, or your mother could get sold away. But in this case, people's children always got sold away. They had a story where a sister, this is a real story where a sister had, every time she would have the baby, she would get to nurse the baby for about 5 to 6 months, and the slave master would take her baby and sell it. For 3 times this happened. And on the 4th time, the sister killed the baby before he could take the baby and sell the baby, right? And he beat the hell out of her because he knew that she had killed the baby. But this is the type of cruelty that happened to us. And this cruelty was a tribute to the fury of the Most High against us. That somebody would literally take your children, you know what I mean, and you'll never see them. You have stories of slaves meeting a woman later on in life, having sex with her, and then find out that is his mama because he was taken from his mama when he was a little boy. You have stories like this because that's how our families were pulled apart, broken apart during the plantation days, right? So this is something that actually happened. Go ahead.
Verse 33, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed all ways.
Yeah, so the fruit, so the labor that you put in, like I brought that out about the cotton, the sugar cane, the tobacco, all of that labor that we put into, we didn't reap none of the benefits, and we still get treated bad. We get mistreated. You can't even bring up slavery without some white person getting angry and saying, "Why in the hell are you bringing that up?" I wasn't a slave master. You wasn't a slave. You understand? You can't even talk about it. You damn near can't even talk about the oppression that happened to black people every day. Police brutality. You can't even damn near bring up without them getting upset and saying, "Oh, you're playing the victim card." Hey, buddy, you didn't get shot by the police. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 34, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. Verse 35, the Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs, and a sore botch that cannot be healed.
So the things that you would see would make you go insane. These things that happen to us will make us, be psychologically damaged. Like these are traumatic things that happen to us. When you look at our history, that's traumatic. If 9/11 was traumatic, then why 400 years of slavery ain't traumatic? If 6 years of the Holocaust is traumatic, then why isn't 400 years of slavery and oppression traumatic? These are traumatic, brutal things that will make a people, go insane or have issues that are not really dealt with. No one thinks you got a problem. They don't even look at black people like they got mental health issues. They look at it like you're just a criminal. Something wrong with them. You know how many brothers the police kill and there's something actually wrong with the brother? He's not a criminal. He's not threatening. He's just not all there. But you're looked at as a criminal. That's the first thing they look at you as. They don't even diagnose you and see like maybe you have some mental issues. Maybe there's some mental health issues we got to work with you on. They just look at you like that you just some black gorilla that is going to rip the police arms off and break his neck and just you're just a danger to society. You know what I mean? And they shoot first and ask questions later when it comes to us, right? Where are you at? Go ahead.
The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed. From the sole of thy foot.
A botch is or a boil that can't be healed, right? Go ahead. From the top of your head, what would you say?
From the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head.
Mm-hmm. That was that one thing. That was monkeypox. That's like a boil. That disappeared, huh? Ooh, that was looking bad, bro. I was like, man, they thought COVID-19 was bad. That right there looked horrible. But that's an example of boils from head to toe. Go ahead.
Verse 36, the Lord shall bring thee in thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
So the Lord will bring you and your ancestors to a place that you haven't known, to a land that you haven't known, and you will serve other gods, wood and stone. What does that mean? You should know this. Okay. Wood and stone. So what the wood and stone is the Christian cross and the what you gonna say? Islam, because you know they worship a stone. It's a stone in Mecca. They walk around, copperstone. Virgin Mary is made out of stone usually, right? But the main ones is Islam and Christianity are the gods that we serve. We serve those. Black people predominantly are Christians. And when I say Christian, I mean the umbrella of Christian. So when I say Christian, I'm talking about Catholic, Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, Jehovah Witness. All of them are under the banner of Christianity, right? And they all got a cross? They all have the cross. So when I say it, that's what I mean. And then you have Islam, which is secondary to what black people are in. But most black people grew up Christian, or even if they didn't go to church, they believe that God is all love. And they believe that if you believe in Jesus Christ with all your heart and mind and soul, blah, 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 you can be saved, right? So they all believe the same thing. But we would come to another land and worship these other gods. This is the Bible, man. This was written. This is not my words. This is the Bible showing you the prophecy came true because we ended up in another land. And I forgot to say that even, you know, a lot of these, because I had brought it out last week, where a lot of people who are against the Bible, black people that believe in other things, like they may be Muslim, they may be conscious community, Hotep community, whatever the case may be, they all use terms like praying and being spiritual that go back to the Bible. And I said, even the top people, whether it be Marcus Garvey, Nat Turner, their heroes, these people read the Bible. Now, these are great people, are pioneers. I'm not taking nothing from them. They're pioneers of our struggle in America. But in order to, the point that I was making was that in order to do anything and have any type of effect or have any type of courage against oppression, you have to use the Bible. They're not using what's that book? Islam, the Quran. They're not using the Book of the Dead. They're not using none of those things to start a revolt or to fight back. They're leaning on the Bible to fight back. Even Malcolm X said the thing right out of the Bible. You will be where it's told, where the Lord told Abraham, your seed will be in the land that is for 400 years that is not theirs. Even Malcolm X quoted the scripture verbatim. You know what I'm saying? So everybody that hates on the scriptures and hates on the Bible, without the Bible, you don't even have the guts to muster to fight against oppression and to fight against America or say anything against the white man. You know what I'm saying? Where we at?
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword.
So he said, we shall become an astonishment. Like the people that do know who we are, like you have Arabs, you have people in those lands that say, you have people here, like Arabs, that'll tell you, like, yeah, you guys are the real Jews. You have people that know who we are, and those people look at us and astonished, like, damn, these niggas is destroyed. These niggas do not know they are the real Jews. They bowing down to these people. They bowing down to these people. They on television shaking they behind. They flashing guns and videos and acting a damn fool, but they don't know that they're God's chosen people. And they're astonished. People look at it like they're astonishment. They're an embarrassment. Like, damn, they don't even know who they are. Like, they don't care though, because they still gonna set up the liquor store and sell you purple grape blunts and pink blunts and all this pink smoke and all of that stuff. They still gonna get their money off of you. They don't care, but they are astonished. Like, how destroyed we are as a people, knowing that, like, damn, they are the real Jews. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Oh, what was you gonna say? How will Ishmael be set up? He won't be set up. He'll be like everybody else though. He'll be, you know, he ain't got no. Why are you asking that? Yeah, but that don't mean nothing. The promise was given to Isaac. So he, I mean, they are sons of Abraham, but it does say that they would be a wild man, and they definitely is a wild man when you see what they do in their country, chopping heads off and strapping bombs to their body, and you know they be ready to risk it all. You know what I mean, for that religion. You know what I mean. But they'll be up under us like all the rest of the nations. We'll be ruling, and they'll be paying tribute like every other nation. When they come to the city of the Lord, they'll be coming with all their forces, which is all their riches. You know, like in ancient times, whenever you come before a king, you coming from your country, you would bring all the precious stuff from your country. You got diamonds, gold, jewels. You'll bring that in a prolonged caravan, and you'll lay it out before that king that you coming to visit. Pay tribute. So all of them gonna be paying tribute to us on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Stepping up in there with the best things from their lands. Yeah. So where we at?
Verse 38. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it.
So that happens today. That happens right now to the point where they put pesticides in the crops, right? In order for the locust not to eat it, like to prevent them from eating up their crop. You know what I mean? But that's a horrible thing when you think you're going to be harvesting all of that, and then one day you come outside and half your damn field is gone because a swarm of locusts done came. So you're looking at, you know, thousands of dollars, millions of dollars that you just lost overnight because of a swarm of insects came and ate it up. You know what I'm saying? That is definitely of the Lord. The same way rain is of the Lord, like if it rains or not, because you depend on rain. Well, some insects coming and eating your crop up, you know, you could just say, yeah, the Lord wasn't with me this year. We just gonna have to hope he with me next year for the next harvest. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna eat lean this year. We're gonna have to store everything. Like everything get cut in half. We ain't having no fat plates this year. We're gonna have to cut everything in half. Go ahead. Yeah, for real. Brother said he might not see it next harvest. He gonna have a heart attack. He see it. You know what I'm saying? That's right. He gonna bow. Go ahead.
Verse 39. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them.
Damn. Keep going. These is curses, man.
Verse
But
40.
I just want you to pay attention that everything it's talking about is our lifestyle. It's about our business, and it's about how we eat. You know what I mean? And all of this has to do with agriculture. Like, it's hard for us to see it that way because we live in a time where you get all your food off of store shelves. You go to a grocery store and you expect for that cereal to be there. You expect for them rice and beans. You expect for those things to be at the supermarket. But all of that stuff comes from fields. And if rain don't come and locusts come, you know what I'm saying? Like, it won't be no food on the shelves. Like, we don't really realize how fragile the society we live in really is. Like, the Lord can shut this down overnight. This could be shut down real quick because people gonna be. You see what happened in COVID-19? People was fighting up for toilet paper. It was no toilet paper. Like, I was like, damn. But I was tripping. Like, why is it toilet paper though? Why it ain't food? Why are y'all tripping over toilet paper? Because you ain't gonna be having nothing to wipe if you ain't eating. You got to get the food first in you, right? What you need the toilet paper for? You know what I'm saying? I would be more worried about getting some bags of beans and rice and some flour, something that, you know, that can sustain me. You know what I'm saying? As far as toilet paper, I'll go hop in a river somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, But you need food. You need to eat. You need fresh water. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, they was worried about the wrong things. But the thing is like we live in such a fragile society, man, because everybody's dependent on a grocery store. But our lifestyle is really agriculture. That's what's going to happen when Christ returns. We're going to go back to agriculture. That's going to be, how we survive. And listen, I feel like I should have a ranch and I should have some goats and I should, I wouldn't mind having a ranch. I wouldn't mind having a ranch right now. Some chicken, literally you got everything to sustain you. You got a garden, you got your cows, your goats, your chickens. You know what I'm saying? Probably some guard dogs, for the wolves or whatever. And then you got your guard, you got everything you need, self-sufficient. The rainwater that falls from the sky, you can filter that. You can make a filter system to filter that and get fresh water. But the point is that we're supposed to live like that. But the white man cordon off everything, section off the world, won't allow you to live off the grid. In some cities, they won't even allow you to collect rainwater or have a garden. You know what I'm saying? You said here? Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah, but that will be our life. And I'm just showing you this is what it would be. This is agriculture right here. All the things it's talking about your crops, your vineyard with your grapes that make your wine. You know what I mean? Your strong drink, your children. This is it's talking about all of these things, and this would be our life, if it wasn't for us sinning against the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, but they shall go into captivity. Verse 42.
Your children will go into captivity. Now, a lot of people have been, because when we bring up slavery, they say, well, a lot of people have been slaves. Well, the type of slavery we was in was called chattel slavery, meaning when you have your kids, they slaves too. It ain't just like you a slave, your kids is born free. No, your kids is a slave too. They about 3 or 4 years old. They good enough to go out there in the field with you and get to give them a little sack, and they can pick what they can pick. It ain't funny, but our children were born into captivity through generations being born into a slave family. You a little child. Matter of fact, you 6 years old, the master have his baby and say, come here. This is your master. Say hi to your master. When you talk to her, call her master. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of life. We're the point where we live our whole life with the master, to the point where it was like we felt like there ain't nothing more than just being with the master when we was free. When we did get free. When the Union soldiers came and freed the slaves and came to some plantations, the slaves was like, "There's nowhere for me to go. I'm just gonna stay here." They stayed with the master because they didn't know nothing else. They was born into it. It wasn't like they was, somebody snatched them while they was a teenager or a grown person and put them on a plantation. No, they was born from a baby into a life of slavery, right? And that's what the brother just read. Even your children, they'll be they'll go into captivity. They'll be taken into prisoners. They'll be prisoners of war. Basically, that's what slavery is. You're a prisoner of war. You're a prisoner of not being able to fend off your attackers and the people that kidnapped you in West Africa. The Africans that would kidnap you, or the Africans that would come to your town and fight you in war with you, and then take you captive. You wasn't strong enough, and the Lord allowed you to be weak so that you could, find yourself here. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 42. All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. Thou shalt come down very low.
So the stranger that is within, what it's talking about is talking about where we're at, right? The stranger would be Asians. We're talking about Arab people. What else? Even Africans. It don't matter. In America, other people come from other countries and they get up higher than us. They get business loans. They get stores. They get that economic what you call it, that they get the capital. They get the capital to start these stores and these loans. Whereas when it comes to Black and Hispanic people, we don't too much get that stuff. We're denied that stuff. Not saying it can't be done, but there's a Chinese store, a restaurant in every hood, donut shop. There's a 7-Eleven that East Indians. I forgot about East Indians. They do the 7-Elevens. They do the motels. The Arabs, what they got? They got the liquor stores. They got out here. They got Golden Pizza. You know what I'm saying? They they come into our communities, right? So they're not necessarily, when you look around, they're not necessarily in white communities. They're in Black and brown communities making money from those communities. But they have gotten up. They have risen above us in our own community, which makes people that don't know our struggles look at us and say, well, why y'all not working hard enough. Y'all don't want to succeed. Y'all don't want to do anything better. You just want to shoot each other in the corner and you just want to, twerk. That's all y'all want to do. And smoke weed. That's all y'all want to do. Y'all don't want to have a business, right? But what is there anything else on that? Where you at?
Verse
44, yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
So now we should be the people that's lending to other people, but now we're the people that got to go and borrow from other people. And we are the tail. We are no longer the head in our communities. We are the tail in our own communities. We do all that rah-rah stuff, and we tote pistols and guns and assault rifles on videos and stuff and act like it's our block, but we don't even own the block, right? There's somebody else that owns the block. There's somebody else. It's an Arab family over here at Fame that own that whole block that allowed these brothers to stand in front of it. And when the police come, them niggas scatter like roaches. You know what I'm saying? So we don't even own nothing in the community that is supposed to be ours. We're all over the community. You see us everywhere in the community. We're a fixture in the community like a damn fire hydrant. Niggas is on the corner like fire hydrants, but yet we the tail in our communities. We don't have no power in our community. We don't got no say so. If the landlord want to come today and cut a tree down or do something that's just drastic, we ain't got no say so over that. You know what I'm saying? So that is a curse of the Lord. We should be the head. We shouldn't have to go to somebody and say, hey, let me slide. Let me slide like 10 cents. You better bring me my money. You know what I'm saying? Let me slide. Let me slide. Hey, can I know it's the fifth. I know it's the third. The ring, my ring gonna be late. Will you let me slide? Like, you know what I'm saying? We gotta be the people that is asking for favors and asking for help, when it should be them coming to us asking for favors and asking for help. And you come and ask me, yeah, I'm going to be late on the rent. China man come ask me, he gonna be late on the rent. Would I let it slide? I said, yeah, but you got to give me 30% extra. I'm taxing heathens. I'm super taxing you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tax my people, but you getting taxed. But it should be that we are the people that are loaning out money. We are the people that they come to for advice. We are the people that they come to for a judgment on a situation. Like, we make the decisions, you know what I'm saying? But in the Christian church, they live in some delusional utopia in their head where they say, the Lord, I plead the blood of Jesus. I'm the head and not the tail. No, you're the tail. You the tail. You the head. You the head in your own mind, but you the tail. You know what I mean? Because the Lord, he set it up that way that if we didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, that's where we find ourselves, and that's where we find ourselves today. Go ahead.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and statutes which he commanded thee. Verse 46. and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So this thing would be on us forever. This was never going to change. So these conditions, this is how you know who God's chosen people are. To the curses, do the curses fit the people in Israel today, the so-called Jewish man? No, these curses don't fit them. These curses fit Black and Hispanic people. And it says that they will be on his people forever, meaning it wasn't going to be a time when this would change. You would see it on the people. You could look at history and say, yeah, that happened to y'all. That definitely happened to y'all. And that happened to y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 47. Verse 47, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
So we serve our enemies in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. We serve, if we want to eat, we got to go to another people. I just talked about the grocery store. It's not Black people that own the grocery stores. It's not Black people that own the distribution of the food that comes from the fields. It's not Black people that own the water companies, right? We have to go in hunger to another people. When if we would have followed the Lord, we wouldn't have to depend on nobody else, right? We have to go to another people for subsidies, for food stamps, to the food bank. I brought it out. You get the government, y'all don't know about this, y'all too young, but the government cheese. They used to have government cheese. What do they have? Powdered milk, honey, raisins, trail mix. They used to have it all that came from the government, for low income people. I mean, but these things that we got through the welfare system and public assistance, these things we wouldn't have to have gotten if we would have kept the law, statute, and commandments. We would be self-sufficient. Just being separate, like I just showed you in history, us being separate and not even knowing who we was doing better than we were once we integrated. So just imagine, what we would have. It also says in thirst. I said that water. We got to go to them for water. The young man said, out here, it's a crime. It's against the law to collect rainwater. It's against the law to collect rainwater that falls from the sky that the Lord made. Can you really understand that? That's crazy. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. That is crazy that you are literally, and that makes me think also about the Native Indians. They didn't understand his ways because they was like, he takes the land and he fences it off. He even takes the land from his own kids where they can't even play. You know what I mean? And how they didn't understand the concept of somebody buying and selling land. Because they was like, the land, they called them the Great Spirit. They said the Great Spirit gave us this land. They didn't understand the concept of somebody owning the land. They didn't understand that. Like, what? You gonna sell it? Can you buy it? They didn't understand that because they lived peacefully on the land and just used what they needed to use. It wasn't this mentality of greed. I gotta gobble up and eat. I need more. And they said like he uses up everything and the resources on the land, and then he moves to another part of the land, like a virus, just sucking out everything out of this land and then move somewhere else, right? But they didn't understand it, and so but the point is we got to go to these people for hunger, thirst, and in nakedness. Our clothes. We got to get our clothes from these people. I don't care if you sell clothes and you have your own business. It don't come from you. There's no Black person producing nothing. We don't have land that produces textiles. We don't have land that produces water. We don't have land that produces none of these things that we need, but other nations do. So you may have your own company, but that stuff is coming from China. And depending on if it's war or not. Because if it's war, oh, you ain't getting none of your stuff. It's gonna be sitting in Long Beach on the dock. It's gonna sit on them boats. It's not gonna get in here. You know what I'm saying? And it's not getting through customs because everything gets stopped. They put sanctions on other countries where they're not trading with you no more. So the point is, you got to depend on everybody for everything you do, whether you work for them, whether you don't, or whether you have your own business. You got to go to them in want of all things. Go ahead.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle.
Could you turn the air down? Turn it off for me.
Right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
A nation's tongue that thou shalt not understand.
Salakia. Just go ahead and do that, and then we'll get back to the precept. What was that? Yeah.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue that thou shalt not understand.
So the Lord said he would bring a nation from far with what?
From the end of the earth.
The Lord will bring a nation from far from the end of the earth. Go ahead.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as what?
As the eagle flieth.
As swift as the eagle flieth. Right? Salakia. Let me see. I was trying to pull up this picture for y'all. Read it one more time for the top. Salakia.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
So it says as swift as the eagle flies. So the eagle is using the eagle as a symbol, as symbolism. And this nation would come from the ends of the earth. And this nation, you would not understand their tongue, their language. That's what it means. And so who has the symbol of the eagle? For time's sake, I'll tell you. Well, we know America has the symbol of the eagle, but Spain and Germany and Rome and all of these oppressive countries have had the symbol of the eagle. And when you look at an eagle, the way an eagle is, an eagle will steal food. An eagle will kill another bird and its babies and take it and feed it to its babies. You know what I'm saying? An eagle is a vicious predator, that seeks to kill, steal, and destroy. And that's the symbol of America. And that's who came. These people came and destroyed Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the Spanish conquistadors, the Europeans. This nation did not regard old or young. They didn't care if you was old or young. You would still be in that field working. I just brought that out. There's pictures you can look up of kids in the field picking cotton. And of course, the elderly pick cotton until they drop dead a lot of times. Some of them was lucky enough to be able to see the day where they was free from slavery and they can just live out their days sitting on a porch, enjoying the sun and enjoying life. But for the most part, this nation had a fierce countenance. There was a people that didn't regard old or young, right? And they had no mercy. And that was America. That was a prophecy. The Lord sent these people. Go ahead.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Right.
Verse 51. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed.
Right. And he would eat up everything. The fruit of thy cattle, the fruit of thy land, the things that you produce and you work for. And he would suck up and dry up the earth like a virus. Go ahead.
Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
Until he have destroyed thee. He would take everything. You would work for everything, and he would take it all, including your children. and sell your children off. Go ahead.
Verse 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down.
Now this goes back to 70 AD. In 70 AD, the Romans came to destroy Jerusalem, and they besieged Jerusalem. They surrounded Jerusalem. And what they did was they blocked off the walls of Jerusalem, and they just waited. No food can go in, no water can go in. And what they did was waited until we started to starve. You know what I'm saying? Until famine started to come upon the people. That's how they were able to destroy us. Go ahead.
Wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land,
right.
The Lord thy God hath given thee.
Excuse me.
Verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, and the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
So this is what happened. We were so distressed and so impoverished, we started to eat our children in 70 AD. This actually happened. This happened. Where you sitting there and everybody is just dying from starvation. Think of looking at, like Feed the Children, when you see those little big head Ethiopian kids and they like all sucked up and flies on their head. Like that actually happened with us through warfare, right? Through a plan, a strategic plan to stop the food from coming in, besieging and closing all the gates around the city. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
So the man with his eyes will be evil towards his wife, his children, and towards his brother. We're talking about a famine where everybody's stressed out and stressed. There's no food. You're getting sucked up. You're getting smaller and smaller, right? So tensions is high. Think about when you're hungry. You know that commercial, like with that Snicker, what is it? A Snicker commercial where you're not yourself when you're hungry. But think about if you're starving. Think about if you ain't ate in about 10, 20, 30 days, and you're seeing people die around you. Think about where your mental state would be at. Go ahead.
Verse 55. So that he will not give to any of them the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he has nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
So he wouldn't give nothing. Like he eating his child. Everybody wants to get something. He think about like a scene out of some zombie movie, right? That's where we was at. Now this is the thing that can happen today. That can happen today. If they cut off food, if those supermarkets have no food on the shelves, the earth can turn into anarchy overnight. It can turn into the purge overnight, where it's every man for himself, right? And so you got to think like, I want the Lord to be on my side. I don't know what can happen. Tomorrow is not promised. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We right here in this moment, but we don't know from right now till tomorrow. A bomb can hit this place from China, and the whole world could turn upside down, and it'd be chaos, and the internet don't work. No Facebook, no YouTube, no Instagram. None of that works no more. Only thing work is a damn radio, the kind you crank. No electricity, none of that. Well, I'm just saying things could turn around just like that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which will not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness,
right?
Her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom.
So it's talking about the woman, how tender she was. She wouldn't even put her bare foot on the ground. That's how tender our women was, that they would not dare to put their bare foot on the ground. She would have an evil eye towards her husband also. Go ahead.
And toward her son, and toward her daughter,
to her kids. Go ahead.
and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear.
So that come up out between her feet, meaning the children that she have. Right. Go ahead.
For she shall eat them for one of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
So like a pregnant woman would eat the baby because of the siege, and there's no food, it's famine, and they're distressed, right? I don't know if we could even imagine that because of the life we live. We have not been tested or pressed on nothing in America. Like we really think our life is hard, but it's people that, it's kids out there in Brazil where they go to sleep, the stars is their ceiling. They outside going to sleep looking at the sky. They wake up in the morning asking people for food and begging. Like in America, like let's keep it 1,000. You're really spoiled as hell in America as Black and Hispanic people. Yeah, we're at the bottom. Yeah, we get treated horribly, but compared to other countries, we're doing pretty good. You know that that iPhone you got in your hand, somebody knock you upside your head for that, and that'll be food for like a whole month. You know what I'm saying? They got countries where you just on your phone, a dude roll by on a bike, you like what the hell happened? Did the wind just blow? My phone was in my hand and it disappeared. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really like that in other countries. So, like to be honest, we're not really ready. We're really not ready. Black and Hispanic people really are not ready if SHIT. Well, I don't want to say it. If it hits the fan, we're not ready, man. We're not ready. But you better get ready. You should have your mind like things could happen at any time, but I'm not worried about it because I keep the law, statute, and commandments. I'm not tripping about it because every day I do what I got to do to please the Most High. So I'm not going to fix my mind on what could happen. I'm just going to make my election sure, which that's the scripture, to make your election sure, to make sure that you're doing everything you can to please the Most High. So let's just say when the death angel come, let's just say you're out at a burnout and with a corner shutdown where they spinning the car and the car swing out of the control and it barrel towards you, that you have mercy that the car don't kill you. Or when somebody is shooting and you in the middle of a crossfire, don't got nothing to do with you, that the angel give you a pass, right? Let's just pray that, you know what I mean, you're driving to work in the morning and nobody gets out of control and knocks you off of the damn road and you die. You know what I mean? There's many ways that you can go, but the point is that you want the Lord to be on your side, and in that moment, you will want for the Lord to have mercy on you and give you a pass. Because people die every day, B. People die every day, literally every morning, every evening, in the middle of the day, all day, every day. So you have to think to yourself, what makes me special? Why am I so special? And I'm not saying it in a self-pity way, but just to realize like things is fragile out here. When you really know that the Lord is terrible and that the Lord does all of these things, you got to be like, okay, Lord, what do I got to do? I want to do what I have to do to be in line. You know what I'm saying? And not only me, but for protection of everything that I love. I got people that I love. I got people looking up to me. You know what I'm saying? And I want them to have a covering also. So what do I got to do? What do I got to sacrifice? What do I got to let go? I'll put down the weed. I'll put down the drugs. I'll put down the sexual deviancy. I'll stop. You know what, Lord? I'm done today. I'm gonna stop watching porn. I'm done. I don't want to. I'm not gonna do that no more. What else? I'm not gonna lie no more. I'm gonna tell the truth to everybody. I'm not gonna steal no more. I'm not stealing no more. My boys are talking about doing this lick next week. I'm gonna tell them I'm not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? Because that thing that you think that you're gonna do, it might just be the last time you do anything, right? Where we at? Yeah.
Verse 58. If thou not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear the glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God. Verse 59.
Oh, Salaki. I blocked the wrong, but let me unblock the brother. I accidentally blocked him. I didn't mean to block that brother. Hey, Salaki, Davon, I was trying to block. Let me see. Unhide. This nigga I don't want to block. I didn't mean to block the brother. I accidentally blocked the brother. I'm trying to figure out how do I unblock him. But go ahead.
Verse 59. The Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long countenance, and sore sickness, and of long countenance.
Man, so this thing is stretched out. The Lord was not playing. He was not playing because obviously we're here. Obviously, we can look back on history and see, like, damn, all of these things actually happened to us. Now, even when you talk about going on a slave ship, you got fake Israelites that say that no, the Mexicans, they're not Israelites because they didn't come on slave ships. Well, when you do your history, you'll find out that Christopher Columbus, they took Dominican Republic, so lucky Dominicans back to Europe. They took Mexicans back to Europe on those ships. Like they did take some of them back to Europe on those ships. So like whether or not it's the whole nation or not, it still fits the curses, right? Let me see. Keep going, keep reading.
Verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee.
Salaki. That shit is crazy. Go ahead.
Verse 61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Keep reading.
Verse 62. And he shall be.
Hey, Salakia, Davon, Salakia. I was trying to block this Kasami, whatever. Accidentally blocked you also. So yeah, Salakia on that. You should be able to get on the next class. But the water, your check-in has been recorded. Go ahead.
Verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you.
Damn.
And to bring you to naught.
Then we're gonna end it right there. He said the Lord will rejoice to do good over you. But it said the Lord was gonna rejoice to say it, read it one more time.
And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you,
right?
So the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you.
The Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you. He's happy to destroy you because we're gonna drop it right there though. Because we are hard-headed people. We're a stiff-necked people. The Lord said that we are a people that love pleasure more than righteousness, right? And so everything could be happening to us and we never question. You never turn the cooler off, huh? I don't think you turned it off, but the Lord, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. The bottom line is, man, the Lord loves us, right? The Lord loves the nation of Israel, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And like any good father, when your children don't do what you said for them to do, you have to punish your children or you're not a good father. You got to punish them and show them and in order to correct them, that these are your rules and you're not playing. You know what I mean? And and the people that you are, I should have said your kids, like if all your kids was at a playground and all the kids are being bad, you're not going to correct all the kids. You're going to correct your kids. And so when you look at the world, the Lord is not correcting all the other nations. He's he's punishing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So we're the people that get all the bad things. We're the people that was dying the most in COVID-19. We're the people that, all these, horrible acts of police brutality happen to. We're the people that all the Karens is messed with. We're those people that everybody has something to say about, and we're the scapegoat of everything. Like anything bad, they look back at black people and say, "You're the reason why." You're the reason. Well, maybe because it's the fathers are not in the home. That's why that thing is happening in Chicago, or maybe this, and maybe that. And the bottom line is that the Lord is dealing with us, but that time was up when we came over here on cargo slave ships. That was our punishment. Slavery was our punishment. And when you look at all these things that done happened, now the other nations or the white man is building up his rap sheet, because the Lord always used other people to punish his people. He didn't do it himself. He sent other nations to come handle us. The same way with these people in America. The problem is that they took away our identity, whereas other nations allowed us to still be God's chosen people while we was in captivity. Not in America. They said we was African. They said we was darky. They said we was Negro. They said we was Afro-American, African Americans. You know what I'm saying? And now we don't know who the hell we are. But thanks to the Lord that the Isupk arose in 1969, and this truth came back on the earth, and this spirit of truth is back on the earth, so that we can wake up brothers and sisters and teach them the right way, and we can teach them a way as where the Christian church has failed our people. The Christian church has failed black people. It has taught us to be better sinners. It has taught us to be people that look righteous, that go to church on Sunday, but do the same goddamn things that people in the world do. So I thank the Lord that we have the truth and we have the opportunity. The Bible says to observe the opportunity, see the opportunity that we have to actually really, truly be people of God, be the people that God intended us to be, and that we are not, criminals. We're not thieves. We're not these people that the world tell us that we are. We're not the problem. The problem is that we don't know who we are. And once we know who we are, we'll be able to recognize the problem. With that, that's the end of the class. Let's clap it up. Yeah, so I had blocked a brother on accident, because sometimes people come in there. Yeah, if you still here, Davon, sometimes people come in here and they actually just spam up the chat. So I have to block them real fast, and I accidentally blocked the brother. Salakia on that. You said who it is? I don't even know, because I'm right now I'm on Nevada and I'm on California. I'm gonna play a video for y'all. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and comment in. This is a day in the life of a priest. Let me put this up here for the brothers to see. A day in the life of a priest. We're about to get up out of here in a minute. Where we at? Let's go. Man, these brothers beat the hell out of that brother. Did you see the video?
No, baby. suspect. But you can see the officers punching and kicking him. In some of the videos, you actually hear Nichols yell for his.
This is of the Lord right here. Bacon, it's of the Lord. Black people gotta wake up. See that this this whole thing from a different perspective, because stuff like this is just gonna keep on happening.
I don't want to go to the dentist anymore.
You don't want to go to the dentist? The world's finest beard oil. I'm gonna sell some beard oil, beard cream, conditioner, and at the end, you got a little more extra in your hand. Put that on your arms. I had this car for like, what, three years I had this vehicle, and it's been holding up. I did a lot of maintenance on it. Got about a 45-minute drive, give or take.
Fine. All I'm gonna say is this: when those curses fall upon you, don't pray to God, because He's not gonna hear you. And that's according to the Bible, not to me. But if you want to listen to the Lord thy God, you get into the eyes, you become the Commander General, Your Honor, and you learn what it really means to follow the law. And with that, that's my time.
Hey, get our priest and prophet a round of applause, man.
For the holy people. Holy means set apart. Y'all want to set apart people unto the Lord thy God. Your God.
Now that you have that, you should be like, damn, now I should want to live different. Now I don't want to be a gangbanger or a drug dealer. I don't want to be a pimp. Man, that's hell. Running out of food stamps because your dad is not in the house, man. That's hell. Having your uncles, your cousins, your older brother in and out of the prison system. That's hell. Raising your daughters to grow up in this society to where they could get on TikTok and Instagram and they see some OnlyFans page promoting. That's hell. Worrying if your young son's gonna grow up to be a man or if he wants to change gender. That's hell. This is a hellish condition that we live in, man.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. All we do is tell black and Hispanic people is to get off of drugs, get off of weed, get off of heroin, and come serve Lord. And the white woman got a problem with that, man. The white woman got a problem with Latinos and black people being civilized and coming to serve the Lord, man. Understand? And I guarantee you, you see this black girl outside of this, you don't think that she's civilized, kind, she a Republican, Democrat, she a politician. Also teach black people to stop celebrating Christmas, stop celebrating Easter, stop celebrating the culture of America, who has raped, robbed,
and murdered you for the last 400 and goddamn years, man. That's what we do. We love blacks, Hispanics, and other Indians. We're not going to prophesy unto you smooth things. I'm not going to talk to you about what sounds good. I'm going to tell you the goddamn truth, man. Right. And the truth is that the people that killed Tyree Nichols, they loved America, man.
Right. Any society, the Romans, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, they all had their height and time to rule and be in power. And guess what? This word said that they was going to fall, and they fell. And in the Bible it says America's going to fall. Right. And it's falling right in front of you. And you still don't believe it, man.
Even black men who are law enforcement are beating the hell out of other black brothers. No different than brothers in the streets and what they do.
Right. Stop and frisk you. They tell you you don't belong in this country, Mexican man and woman. Last I heard, you never hear America. You never even heard Donald Trump mention the high number of undocumented Asian immigrants. Right. He's not locking up Asian kids in those cages. Right. But he is locking up so-called Hispanic kids. He is locking up kids from Mexico, kids from Honduras, kids from Guatemala, kids from El Salvador.
We gonna teach the truth in Hollywood, whether you like Ripley's and you believe it or you believe it or not. I shouldn't say that.
Man, another long day at camp. The demons was out today, man. The demons was out. It was a glorious day, man. We came out here. We did what we were supposed to do. We warred in the spirit, and we'll be back. We'll be back. And like the brother just said, they come down there. They come down there and argue and call him all type of niggas, and he say, "Come, go stand in front of the Hebrews." They don't want to stand in front of them. Finally made it back from camp. It was a long day. A lot of craziness went on today. A lot of demons came out. But the day was successful. I asked you for your input, but I don't remember me asking you for all of that. I'm lazy.
At least you didn't say that your toenails are so ashy to the point you don't